Hello my bees and welcome back to the channel. If you saw my previous video, you would have seen a small disaster. I realized that my poor little tube of vermilion paint had managed to be compromised, and now obviously most of it had started drying by the time I realized, but I did manage to save some of it. I've put some on watercolor paper here. And one sheet was not enough, so now I've got 3 sheets made with a really vibrant colour, of which I have none remaining. So I have no idea what I'm going to paint this time, but I'm sure I'll come up with something. Let me just show you my previous painting. So this painting, I've got a full video, I'll put the link up for you. This painting is a still life, and as you can see, it's quite a detailed painting. It's realism, there's no doubt about it. But I just thought, if I have something like this, maybe I will be brave enough to do some impressionism. I've always been interested in doing something more impressionistic, but I've always been too afraid. So I go back to what's comfortable, whether it's painting or drawing. And let me just give you a few examples of my work. I tried to be a bit impressionistic with this one, as you can see in these areas, looking through the window, but I tend to always come up quite detailed, and that's really not a criticism, it's neither here nor there. But I want to try something new, because as you can see, I tried to keep the background a bit more impressionistic. This one here, I've made a whole tutorial on. This was done a while ago. It's a still life of figs, if you're interested. This is actually one of my favorite paintings, and I've painted that with acrylics on canvas paper. And then this one is just water-soluble graphite with gold ink. In fact, I'll show you the ink that I used. It was this one. Just had some of this ink lying around. But one of the paintings that really just made my heart sing was this one. Now, I've taken this painting out of its frame. I had it framed because I didn't want any glare to come towards you from the glass. And have a look at this painting. This is my master copy of my favourite Vincent van Gogh portrait. It barely even fits on this little desk that I have here. It's a really small desk. And this is done in oil pastels. I did this about a year ago. I'll put a link somewhere for you to go and see the full video of this, because I did film this process. And this was before I had a better camera. So I'm considering refilming some of my already finished works to show you in greater detail how I pulled this off. So here's my Vincent, and one thing that Vincent van Gogh has taught me, and one of the reasons why I admire him so much, is how he's just able to pop these strokes together, random colours it seems, and it all just looks so delicious. You know, I can't tell you how mesmerising his work is to me. Let me just give you a few close-up shots. For instance, this is his clothing and shoulder. I mean, look at the strokes. I tried to copy as faithfully as I could the way that Vincent had painted this in oil paints. I've never tried oil paints before. Here's a confession you may not know about me. I need to probably do that one day. But for now, I'm just going to stick to oil pastels because I just love them so much. But I love the way that that purple blends into the black background. So creating this master copy for myself really made me feel like I might be missing something by not painting in an impressionistic way. So let's put Vincent away and I'll show you what we're going to be getting up to today. So now that Vincent's back where he's supposed to be, I thought, let's try. I've never actually opened these brushes. These brushes I bought years ago, but I wasn't actually buying the brushes. I was buying a brush wallet, and these came for free. I've never opened them, and look how old this is. I don't even know. It's amazing what you'll find when you do a studio tidy up, isn't it? let's just open these, because if a brush, let me open them and then I'll come back because it's making a lot of noise with the plastic. So here they all are. We've got 3 flat brushes and we've got 1 fan brush and we've got 3 round brushes. I mean, they seem a lot stiffer. They've probably got that product in there that keeps them pretty stiff, but the fan brush feels a lot more rigid than the other brushes that I'm accustomed to. I'm used to using these brushes. Let me just grab them and show you. So, for example, this one. This one's one of my favorite brushes. It's a Dagger Taklon brush. What's this one? This is a Taklon Bright, and this is just a Filbert. These are 3 of my most used brushes. And also this is my Taklon Rigger. Okay, so compared to these, you can tell straight away how much longer these handles are. See how much longer they are? And so I've done a little bit of reading trying to prepare for this video, and I've read a lot of things about the length of the handle of your brushes, and if your brushes are pretty short, you're going to end up using them almost like a pen. Whereas if they're pretty long, you're going to end up being more impressionistic, kind of like, you know, painting from a distance. So, oh, it's a bit powdery in there. So I might have to just give these a rinse. Can you see these little hairs? Where are these coming from? Where are these hairs coming from? Are they actual hairs, or is it just something that's in the brush while it's in the packet? Who knows? Who knows? So I'm going to find an older work that I've completed, and I'm going to try and do it again, paint it again, but this time being more impressionistic. Here's one of my first ink pieces, and I did this years ago now, but I thought it might make quite a fun piece to do. And this is another painting which I think might be our second one. I did this years ago with gold and sepia coloured ink. I love sepia ink. It's one of my favourite inks to use. And of course I love gold. Who doesn't love gold? So let's do the pear and fig still life. And we're going to be so impressionistic, we're not even going to know that I've painted this. Okay, so we've started with 3 colours. It's lemon yellow, lamp black, and titanium white. And so the first thing I'm going to do is choose the brush. I'm going to choose the smallest flat brush that I have, and I'm going to actually just put it in some water. Get your brush wet, because when your brush is wet, your paint will want to glide off of your brush. Whereas when it's dry, your paint does not want to glide off of your brush. Now I'm going to combine the yellow with the black, and I'm going to get a beautiful green. And if you haven't watched my previous video on that, I've got a couple of shorts videos. I'll link them in the description as well, so you can have some idea of what I'm talking about. But in case you didn't know, if you do mix yellow and black, you do get a beautiful green colour. So I'm only going to do 1 pair, okay? So we'll start with a circle. This is really, really not the way that I paint, but I'm going to make the circle a bit weird. So it's a circle. A pair is basically, more or less, it's a triangle with a circle down the bottom. Okay. So look how amazing that looks. I don't know why I'm so excited. I haven't done very much to it. I'm going to make the shadow come out this way. I'm going to make a little Well, on my painting, it will look like this, the stalk. So I'm going to make the stalk go this way. And then I'm going to grab a different brush. Let's go for a round this time. Get it wet. The white's going here. Let's pretend the light's coming from this way. And the darks are on that side. The darks are here. And then there's darks here as well. Maybe now I know why I didn't use. Let's say the table is there. Okay. And look at that hair on that. I don't know. Is this making me more fearless or more fearful? You tell me. Negative shape painting on that side. Okay, and I think the point is to have strokes. Let's say this is the darker side. I can't go too crazy here because I'm going to lose all my reds. Okay, so we'll use some more. Where's my white? Here it is. You got to stop being afraid of painting. Painting is good. Painting is fun. Paint every which way, every which way. Okay, let's go back a little bit to show you. Paint every which way, every which way. And even using a very large brush would not be a bad idea. This is really not how I paint, guys, but what is the point of being an artist if you don't try these things? You're meant to have fun. You're meant to play. This is the whole point of it. You're meant to play. You're meant to enjoy your art. Look at this terrible brush. It is shedding like crazy. I mean, no wonder these were, these are terrible, you guys. I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish this painting. So I'm going to let this layer dry and then come back to it. This is only the first stage, okay? And I think it's really important to try and preserve the red and not give in to the temptation to just blend everything out at all times, which is what I commonly will do. All right, I'll come back when this is dry. I'll see you in a bit. You guys, I don't know why, but I find it so terrifying to be this painterly, and it's scary not to have my vermilion available to me in case I want to put a bit of that red back in. But, you know, I have to sometimes take a leap. I can't just stay in my comfort zone the whole time and expect to grow as an artist. You know, it is scary, but sometimes we have to take a leap of faith and trust the process, you know. And these are the kinds of things that Vincent van Gogh was doing. This is what he was doing. He was just fearlessly, in spite of all of his obstacles in life, he was just taking a leap of faith and painting intuitively instead of being afraid all the time. You're never going to get anywhere being afraid. You know, you've got to take that jump sometimes. You can't blend everything out until there's nothing authentic about it. You can't do that. Let the edges get lost in one another, you know. When you're painting, you're connecting with the present. You're doing nothing else. You're not worrying about your problems. You're not worrying about life. You're not worrying about anything. This is why we paint. This is why we paint. We paint because it takes us to a different place. Now, before I overwork this, I am going to stop and just give myself a little break while this dries. I did say I was going to stop, didn't I? I still haven't stopped. It's because painting is my happy place. This is where the magic happens. I don't want to destroy this. I want it to be painterly. Watch the strokes shine through. Watch them. Watch them shine. Sometimes a painting, it feels like will just paint itself. Okay, I can't keep going on this forever, but I can. I can just let it dry, and that's what we're going to do now. Okay, I'm back and it hasn't dried. I've just hit record again because I just looked at it through the viewfinder and I thought, oh, I really, why am I obsessed with details? Why can't I just let it stay painterly? I think that's something that a lot of artists try to be dismissive about, is how terrifying it can be to actually begin a painting. Should we stop? Should we? Honestly, I really think that we probably should stop. You've got so many, a lot of my earlier videos, you guys, I'm just trying to be this positive, amazing, settled person. And most of the time I am. I'm pretty happy as a person, I have to say. But I think I'm going to try now to be more authentic. In other words, if I'm terrified of a painting, I'll share that with you. There's nothing wrong with being terrified, okay? That's what makes us human. You're terrified if you're human. So let's come back to this once it dries. So here we are on the next day, and everything is fully dried, and I'm just going to put a glaze wherever I think it should go. It just softens up all the blackness that's in this piece, and it just shows you that glazing is so much fun. And I'm in danger of just blending everything to death. So I'm going to be pretty careful in how I do things. But I just felt like it probably wasn't green enough or yellow enough. So, and now I've just got a wet brush. Let's wet it again. And I've put it on my towel to dry a bit. And I really want those red pieces to show through. And actually, I think I will stop there. I just wanted to do a small study. Next time I see you, we will be creating another painting on another one of these. So when I remove this, you can see I've tethered it down with just a couple of pieces of sticky tape. Okay, it's just tape. And what I want to do now, let me just grab a piece of white paper so you can see what it would look like. And of course I've put it back because I've noticed that I would like a little bit more yellow throughout. But just here and there, not really everywhere. And I just want one last thing. I wouldn't mind if there was a bit of a glow down here. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. Let me get you a mat so you can see.